Hey beauties, it's Court. So today I'm bringing you, it's not really a tutorial. I guess it's more of just a video showing you how I do my eyebrows. I don't want to call it a tutorial because this isn't like, when I do tutorials, I like to make them things that are kind of universal. Listen to me talking about like I'm an old tutorial pro. I've done one. I keep in mind when I do film them to try and make them as universal as possible, but everybody's eyebrows are different. Everybody's shape and texture and thickness and color and the products that they like to use, everything is different for everybody, which is what is so much fun about makeup. So this is kind of just showing you how I personally do my eyebrows. Before we get into the tutorial, I was going to show you a few of my favorite brow products. And if you want to know where the actual tutorial starts, I will put it on the screen. It's going to be somewhere like right around here. So you can just skip ahead right to that if that's what you're interested in. But what I use in the actual tutorial is just 3 items. I use 3 items on my brows every day, aside from little scissors and tweezers, which I don't use every day, but pretty much every 2 or 3 days, I'll give them a little trim and maybe like pluck hairs that grow in like down here or, you know, like on my forehead or something. But as for the tutorial, the 3 products that I used are right here. The first one is the actual brow product. This is from Anastasia, and this is her brow powder. And I use mine in the shade Auburn because I do have red in my hair, so I like to have a hint of red in my eyebrows as well, especially because when I do have freshly dyed hair, I do dye my eyebrows to match my hair as well. So this is the shade that works for me the best. You'll notice in the tutorial and just looking at the pan that the one that I use the most is the lighter shade, but I do use the deeper one just to kind of flick out the edges of my tails and kind of make them a little bit more defined. This is what I use on a daily basis with this. This is very dirty. I'm not really sure how to clean my spoolie. If you can give me some tips on cleaning my spoolie, because I'll just show it to you. We'll keep it real. It's pretty gross. I'm not really sure what's like all up in it. It's kind of like hairs and like dust and stuff. I don't know. I keep this in the little like plastic thing that it came in, so I don't know how it gets so dirty. I guess just using like the brow setting gel and things that I use, and then just I don't know, but if you could tell me how to wash this, that would be fantastic because it's disgusting. This is the number 12 brush from Anastasia. You can't really see it. It's pretty much worn off because I do use this every day, but this is a perfect brow. Look how thin that is. Like, you could cut a bitch with this thing. It is wonderful for your brows, for getting very precise lines or making like little strokes of hairs, like if you have to create hairs that you don't have in sparse areas. This is just the perfect brow brush. There we go. I have tried quite a few from the drugstore and some higher end ones, but I have never found one quite like this. And the last and final thing that I do use in the tutorial is this setting gel, clear brow and lash mascara. This one is from e.l.f. I just recently started using this and I'm not too crazy about it so far, and I've only been using it for a couple of days. Like, I want to say not even a week. And you can see how much product is left. There's like nothing in here. Like, I used it so quickly, and I literally, like you'll see, I just dab it. Like, I just dab, 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 and then I brush it through with my other spoolie, because this spoolie is very wide and spaced apart, and I don't really like that when I'm trying to get my brows into a certain shape. But the other side, I don't even use at all. I haven't even touched it. It's a lash mascara. It was $3. It does keep your brow hairs in place, but it doesn't harden them. And I like my brow hairs to be hard because then I know they won't move at all. So speaking of, I guess, setting gels for your brows, what would they be called? What's this one called? I guess just a brow gel, a clear brow gel to set your brows with. This is my holy grail right here. This is the Anastasia clear brow gel, and I don't know why I'm looking on the bottom for a shade because it's clear, obviously. But when you open it up, it just kind of has this spoolie here, and it's a little bit fatter in the center and thinner on the bottom and the tip, and I really like this spoolie. Again, I prefer the one on the number 12 brush to shape my brows with, but to apply the product, I really like the spoolie that's in this one. There is no brow gel that I have found that even comes close to comparing to this. I've heard really good things about the NYX one, so I am going to order that just so I can kind of give you guys a comparison and use it in upcoming tutorials when I want to use just drugstore products. So I want to find a really good one that I can share with you guys. But so far, this is holy grail. I have not found one that's better. If you like using a pencil for your eyebrows, I can like feel my nose getting redder. Like my allergies are killing me right now. If you prefer to use something like a brow wiz or a brow pencil, this one is from NYX and it's the micro brow pencil, and I really like this. It is really good. The only reason that I don't use this on a more daily basis is the shade is not quite right. It's a little bit lighter than I like. It looks artificial to me, but this is a very good formula. It's a very good product. I think it's $5. People rave about this, rightfully so. I do like the spoolie that's on it. I know quite a few people don't, but you can see the product is just a very thin, and it stays like that too. I've used this quite a bit, and it has kept its thin kind of shape to it, and it's kept a pretty nice point on the end as well. So for $5, I'm gonna have to go a shade or two darker. This is the Auburn shade. It's a shame it doesn't work because it is a really nice Auburn shade, but it's just not dark enough for me, and I am planning on going even darker with my hair this weekend, so it's definitely not going to work, but it is a very good product. So I'm going to show you two more things and then the tutorial will begin. This is another one of my favorite brow powders. This is from Salon Perfect, and you can find this at Walmart. This one I think actually came in a kit of some sort. I don't really remember what else came with it, but I do know that this wasn't the only product in the package when I bought it. It comes with a little brush in here, and the brush in here is actually really good. In my opinion, it's the only one that I found that almost compares to the Anastasia. It's this little teeny tiny brush right here, and you can see it's very nice and thin, and it just applies the product beautifully to my eyebrows. I really love the brush that comes in this. As for the product itself, mine comes with, I think there's only one that you can get, and this one came with 4 shades in it. It has a more light gray shade, a darker taupe shade, an auburn shade, and a highlight shade. And these are the two that I use. I use these on my friends. I've never used them on myself, but these are the two that I use. The highlight shade is really nice for getting right up close, directly underneath your brow, just to kind of sharpen up that line a little bit if you don't want to use concealer, because I know I personally am not a fan of using concealer to sharpen up under my eyes. I like to use some kind of powder. So this is a really pretty highlight for directly under the eyebrow. And then this is the other brow powder that I really like. It's a little bit, once you get down a little bit further in the pan, it becomes a little bit harder, but it's not, doesn't really make it any more difficult to work with, honestly. And I think this was under $10 if I'm not mistaken, but like I said, there is other things that come in the kit. I just don't remember exactly what they are. And to be specific, this is called the Salon Perfect Brow Defining Kit. I will have all these products down in the description for you as well, so you can check them out that way. So the last and final product I'm going to show you is kind of a, I don't want to say it's a dupe, but it is very good. This is from Sonia Kashuk, and it is called the Brow Kit. This is in number 12, and it's more of a red, brown, auburn kind of colors in here. This one's picking up a lot lighter on camera than it really is in person. It's a lot deeper than that. It's a beautiful kind of golden blonde kind of shade. This is a pomade. It's not a powder. You can see it's a cream product, and this one I liked so much. This is the first product that I have hit pan on since high school, and I actually just realized that when I told you. One thing that kind of sucks about it is even when it's closed, and I haven't used this in probably months, I've been using my powder, but even when it's closed, you can see if you look really closely, there's like hairs and stuff in it. Like, how does a product that stays shut for months get hairs and dust and shit all up in it? You know what I mean? So that's kind of like a flaw in the packaging. It is just a magnetic closure, so it doesn't like clip or anything like that. But as for the product itself, it's a very good product, and I would compare it honestly to the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. I really, really like this, and I can definitely recommend this. You can find Sonia Kashuk products at Target. If you want to see finally how I do my eyebrows, keep your cute little ass right where it's at.
Hey beauties, so I actually went ahead and did all of my makeup and saved my eyebrows for last. Normally I would do my foundation, my concealer, set my face with powder, and then go ahead and do my eyebrows. But for the purpose of the tutorial, I just went ahead and did all of my makeup and saved the brows for last. So I am going to be using my Anastasia Powder Duo in the shade Auburn, as you can see. So I do use this lighter shade here first, and then this deeper shade for the tails of my brows. I am going to use my Anastasia number 12 brush, and like I said, you can cut a bitch with this thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and comb my brows out. I like to comb them up and see if the hairs are a little bit too long, and if they are, I will trim them. I did wait a couple days to trim them just for the purpose of the tutorial so I could show you. I do not trim them every day. I try and let them grow as much as possible and just kind of do their thing and just do stray hairs. And like I said, if the hairs just get a little bit too long, I just kind of brush them up and trim them. These scissors are from Revlon, and they are the best damn brow trimming scissors I have ever found, and I have tried a lot of them. So I just kind of brush them to the shape that I want them to be. I did film both of the brows, but I'm not going to explain what I'm doing on both of them because I do pretty much the same thing on both sides. But I will show you, you know, a sped up version of what I do on the other brow and just kind of explain on the one, if that makes sense. So I just brush both of them, obviously, until I get them to the shape that I want them. Once I'm happy with how they're laying, I am going to go into my brow powder in the lighter shade, and I'm going to dip it in and then just tap off any excess that I have. I'm not going to start all the way at the inside of my brow. I am going to start about 2/3 of the way in by lining the bottom. And then after I get a nice little line on the bottom to go by, I do start filling in the tail and kind of just doing small little strokes to fill in sparse areas. I take the spoolie and run it through them every once in a while just to make sure that the brow is laying right. And as you can see, it was not. These little hairs on the end were bugging me. I also run the spoolie through them as well just to make sure that the product is being evenly distributed and I don't get any like chunks of powder stuck through my brows anywhere. Going back into the brow powder, I'm going to start doing the top of the tail and just kind of, like I said, making small little strokes to fill in the sparse areas. I do have to kind of draw a little bit of the top of my brow on the outer end, like where the arch is on one side, because it isn't very noticeable. Now I'm going to go into the darker powder and just kind of deepen up the very tip of it. One of my eyebrows doesn't grow as far down as the other one, so I do actually have to create the tail just to make them even. Now I'm going to dip it back in there and just kind of go in and fill in any sparse areas that I may have. And then without adding any more product to the brush, I'm going to go down right to the beginning of my brow and just kind of line it underneath and use that small amount of powder, hold my brush long ways and just kind of push it up into that area. I also turn it the other way and just kind of create a little bit more coloring in there because it is very sparse in the center. I don't want it to be too dark because you do kind of want that nice ombre effect, but I do have to fill it in just a little bit. On the top, I do have some sparse areas as well, so I'm just going to hold my brush diagonally because that's the way that my hairs grow on the top. They kind of grow like out towards the side of my face, so I just want to kind of go along with the hair. Now I'm just going to go back in and just keep filling them in until I'm happy with the coloring, just kind of getting a little bit more darkness in the center. Yeah, you can pretty much just see what I'm doing. I'm going to go back in with the spoolie just to make sure everything's all nice and blended out. And again, that the hairs are just laying the way that I want them. I do have curly eyebrows, so they get a little crazy. I realized that I didn't have any lipstick on, and I looked a little insane with those concealer-ass lips, so I just grabbed some random lipstick and put it on real quick. And I ended up hating the fucking color, but whatever. This isn't about lipstick, it's about eyebrows. So I'm just going to continue to dip back into the product and just keep filling them in and get rid of all the sparseness. I do push down a little bit harder in certain areas to get the product on my actual skin. And I do want to make sure that it's kind of coating every brow hair as well. Going back in with the spoolie again, like I said, just to make sure everything's nice and even. You can see on the top right there, it kind of was sinking down in that one area right there, and I just kind of wanted it to be more of a straight line across just to make them look a little bit more full and to adjust the shape to the shape that I normally like. I do step back once in a while and look at them from afar. I do recommend doing that because sometimes you can see things from arm's length that you wouldn't be able to tell from close up. So anyway, I'm just going to go in and start doing my next brow. I pretty much do the same exact thing to both brows. I start at the bottom, draw a line, fill in the tail, fill in the sparse areas, drag a tiny bit of powder from the bottom in the center up just to fill that area in a little bit and get the ombre effect. And then every once in a while going in with the spoolie. Like I said, yada yada, it's pretty much the same exact process. I hate this lipstick. I had to change it. With this eyebrow on this side, I do have to go up a little bit higher because the hair does not actually grow as high up as on the other side. And I do have quite a bad bald spot where I was just wiping right there. And it takes me a couple tries to get that line straight every single day. My brows are the longest process by a landslide in my entire makeup routine every day. I mean, I'm sure my eyeshadow probably takes a while, but I love doing my eyeshadow. I really enjoy doing my brows as well, but I just love doing my eyeshadow so much more that it probably feels like it's a lot quicker of a process, but my eyebrows just, they feel like they drag on forever. I swear it takes me like a half an hour to do them. I do have one of those mirrors that's like a big mirror in the front and then two smaller ones that fold out on the sides. And I find that it really helps for me to be able to see my eyebrows from all different angles. I know not everybody has a mirror like this, but you know, if you're going mirror shopping and your brows give you a lot of difficulties, then maybe something like that could definitely help because I know it makes it a hell of a lot easier for me just on a regular daily basis. I was so excited. I guess, you know, the Goosebumps books from when we were kids. I was super stoked. They have like a Goosebumps monster movie coming out, and I was just so excited about it. So now that I have them all filled in, I'm going to use this e.l.f. Clear Brow Gel to kind of set them. I'm not really too crazy about this. Like I said in the intro, it's not that great. But for right now and the purpose of the tutorial, it was the closest thing to me. I use this spoolie to just kind of dab the product onto my eyebrows, and then I take the spoolie from my Anastasia brush just to shape them the way that I want them. I find that this is the best spoolie that I've ever used. So one down, one to go. Brielle was bugging me to give her some eyebrow gel. YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Blow 'em a kiss. So there you have it, guys, the finished look. I hope this was helpful to somebody. Please subscribe if you haven't. Thumbs up if you enjoyed my tutorial, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah.